Okay.
Okay, so in those questions, what was the topic that you were asking Ms. Novak about?
It was about a controlled correspondence that was sent from an inmate to the warden's office or Sue Novak.
And well, inmate PIOC is that's the same thing, right?
I use inmate because yes, it is. I use inmate because that's what the language is in state statute.
Okay,
So that's yes, they're interchangeable.
fair enough. And was that PIOC's initials TR, correct?
It appears so, yes.
And why did you ask Ms. Novak about that the controlled correspondence from PIOC TR?
There was information, just going off of memory, there was information on the controlled correspondence regarding staff misconduct.
Okay, and did Ms. Novak acknowledge receiving that controlled correspondence?
She did.
Okay. Judge, if I, in the same exhibit number 12, if I could have you go down, I think it's, or I'm sorry, up to page 416.
Okay, before we do that, did you tell us, Mr. Soneberg, what controlled correspondence means?
Oh, sure, yeah. So it is a written document that that inmates are able to complete and send to the warden's office directly. A lot of times in the institutions, there'll be like a locked box that is secured that only certain people will be able to retrieve those things. So I'm not exactly sure how CCI works, but it is, a document that inmates are able to fill out regarding complaints or anything like that and send directly to the warden's office.
Okay, so it's done through a controlled process or system.
Correct.
Okay.
That's my understanding of it, yes.
And what's your page that you want to go to, Mr. Mullenbach?
416, please, Judge.
All right, we're on page 416. Didn't we have a problem? There was a name of a person on here that wasn't redacted.
Yeah, I apologize for that, Judge.
So
I'm just going to ask a couple of quick questions on this.
So did you see the document? I don't want to have it up too long.
No, I understand. You can scroll it down so that that's out. I don't have a problem with that, obviously. I don't know if you're able to do that or not. But my
How
first
far?
question,
I mean, I don't know where the name is myself.
it's actually right at the top of the page right now.
Oh, okay.
So
you mean I'll go the other way?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Sorry.
I don't, like I said, I didn't actually try to find out where the name was.
That was unintentional. We really tried our best to redact all the names.
So is that not showing anything?
If you could scroll down just a little bit more, please. The other way, sorry, Judge.
There?
Maybe one more click. That's probably, that's perfect right there, Judge. Thank you.
Okay.
So Mr.
On response exhibit 12, page 416.
Mr. Soneberg, do you recognize this document?
Not really, no.
Okay.
Not by just the screen, I don't.
Okay, fair enough. Judge, can you scroll down to the next 2 pages, please? Well, maybe, I don't know, would it help you to read this letter? I don't know. Well, first, maybe if we just want to scroll through, maybe that'll refresh your recollection. And if not, we can have you read it.
Okay. Yep. I know what it is now.
Okay. Let's just scroll all the way to the bottom just to make sure. Okay. Thank you, Judge. If you could go back up to that first page we were on, Judge, I would appreciate it.
All right, I think this is where you want to be, correct?
Actually, one more page up, please, Judge.
Isn't that where the routing slip is?
Yeah, you sort of got ahead of me on that. I was going to ask those questions as far as control correspondence, but I just have a few other questions I would like to ask. And then, yeah, right there is actually one more click down would be perfect. I just want to make sure the PIOC's name. One more click up, I think. Yep. Well, that's fine. All right. So I think we're good there. So, okay, let me ask you again, Mr. Soneberg, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And what do you recognize it to be?
The controlled correspondence sent from that inmate to Warden Novak.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I was okay. And well, you just said it's addressed to Warden Novak, correct?
Correct.
And did it direct her to do anything or take any action?
So, oh yeah, so it's from the Office of Administrator, and it's to Warden Novak, and the assignment is to reply direct.
Okay, reply direct to whom? Do you know?
I would assume the inmate, but I'm not sure. I've never actually received these myself.
Okay, and then it says CCDAI. Do you know what that means?
I would assume. No, I don't. I would just be assuming. I don't know what that means.
Okay, and then there's a due date there. Do you see that listed?
I do.
What is the date on that?
March 11th, 2020.
Okay. Judge, if I could have you now go to same exhibit page, well, the next page down, 417.
All right, we're on page 417, Respondents Exhibit 12. Go ahead.
So, Mr. Soneberg, I know you've already taken a look at these, but just for the record, do you recognize this?
Yes.
And what do you recognize it to be?
This was the controlled correspondence that was sent from that inmate
To Ms. Novak, correct?
So no, it appears to be sent to Magda in administration, and then it would have went from administration in DOC to Warden Novak, I believe.
Okay, that's what the controlled correspondence is, correct?
Yes, I may have misspoke. That there's several different types. There's types that go directly to the warden, and there's types that go obviously up to administration.
Okay, so in this, I just want to clarify and make sure that I'm clear on this. So in this particular case, the PIOC sent the letter to Magda Fesahaya. Magda Fesahaya then sent it to Warden Novak. Is that accurate?
I do not know if Magda may have sent it to somebody else. I do not know. Based on this form right here,
Okay.
looking at it, it appears that it was sent to Magda, whoever had it from there, whether it was a clerk or whoever. I don't know, but it appears that it was sent to Warden Novak.
Okay. And Judge, if you could just scroll down to the bottom of this page, please. So directing your attention to this paragraph, beginning with there's a second sentence there. I don't want to have you read it out loud, but could you just describe what PIOC TR wrote there?
Yeah, so the inmate wrote that they are under investigation, and that a staff member is having sexual intercourse with inmates.
Okay, and did the allegations and the staff is Holly Zimdahl, correct?
Correct.
And outside, well, in addition to the sexual misconduct allegations, were there any other allegations that are listed here?
Maybe bringing in contraband as well.
Okay. Judge, if I could have you go to page 504, please. Actually, before we do that, can I have you go to Exhibit 14? I apologize.
Has that been marked?
I believe it has. I believe it was yesterday, but I guess we might want to double check.
Yes, it was marked yesterday.
Okay.
All right, we're on Response Exhibit 14. And it is a memorandum to PIOC TR, March 13th, 2020.
Yeah, if you could just, oh, sorry.
You're on page 1013. Go ahead.
Mr. Soneberg, have you seen this document before?
I don't recall.
Okay. If I could just have you take a look at it, see if it refreshes your recollection. Maybe just read it over quickly and let me know when you're done.
Yeah, I've read it. I do not recall if it was part of my exhibits or not. I don't recall this document offhand.
Okay. I mean, you recognize it, you just don't recall much about it?
Correct.
Okay.
No, to be honest, I don't even recognize it. Like
Okay.
It was in my exhibits. It was part of the investigation and part of the packet, but I don't recall this document.
Yeah. No worries. All right, Judge, if you could, in Exhibit 12, if you could go to page 504 for me, please.
All right, we're on Respondents Exhibit 12, page 504. Go ahead.
Mr. Soneberg, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
What do you recognize it to be?
This was an subject interview for Warden Novak that took place on May 28th, 2020. I was the primary investigator. Matt Polson was secondary.
Okay. Judge, if you could go down to page 514 for me, please.
I'm sorry, what page did you say?
Page 514, and I'm going to be focused on question and answer 74.
All right, go ahead then.
If you could scroll down I'm looking at question and answer 74, please.
Oh, 74. I thought you said 70.
Nope, no worries. Sorry, I may have misspoke. I don't know.
Okay. All right, so we're on question 74. Go ahead.
So it's a bit longer, but Mr. Soneberg, could you just read that over and let me know when you're done? And if you need the judge to scroll down, obviously just let her know.
Okay. Yeah, you can scroll down, please. Okay.
And Judge, if you could just scroll back up a little bit for me, please. That's good right there. Thank you, Judge. So, Mr. Soneberg, what was the topic of this question? What was the question you were asking Ms. Novak here?
So this question was regarding if Warden Novak remembered talking to Miss Curtin about that correspondence.
Okay, and what was Ms. Novak's response?
She responded kind of about the process and how the process works, and if that there's sometimes they come in, they just need to have a look at it, don't really follow up with anything. Sometimes there is follow up, which she would assign out.
Okay, and so I know there's a lot going on with this paragraph, so let me try to direct you. So you got question 74, and then right under that, obviously, you have A 74, answer 74.
Yep.
So towards the bottom of that answer, there's a sentence that begins, there's some where it's directing me. Let me know when you find that sentence, please.
I've got it.
Okay, can you read from that point down to where it says, so that's the process. Can you read that out loud for me, please?
Yep. So there's some where it's directing me to respond directly to inmates. Those we talk about, what do you want? She'll say, what do you want me to do with it? I'll say, give it to so-and-so, have them then draft a response with my signature, send it out. It comes back. I review it. I look at this again and make sure it hits the points, and then I approve it. So that's the process.
Okay, and in this series of questions and answers, did Ms. Novak indicate who she assigned out PIAC TR's letter to, if you recall?
I know Miss Curtin was the warden secretary who would have had the correspondence. I don't know if at any point she specifically said. I asked a lot about Miss Curtin, but I don't remember if she stated it.
Okay, so towards the bottom of the page where we're at right now. So at the very, well, not the very bottom. So on page, I can't hardly read it, but 514, I think it says, there's an answer that begins, so what normally happens is, correct? You see that?
Yep.
Actually, Judge, if you could stay where you are, I'd appreciate it. I'm actually going up. So then there's an answer there. So that's the answer. Then there's a question above that says, okay. You see that?
Yep.
Okay, and then there's an answer above that. Could you read that answer for me, please?
Yep. Yes, this was after if this was April, this would have been sent down to Captain Pitson.
Okay. Judge, again in Exhibit 12, if we could go to page 226, please.
All right, we're on response exhibit 12, page 226. Go ahead.
Well, Mr. Soneberg, this is quite a lengthy document. If you need us to scroll down, obviously let us know, but just based on what you can see here, do you recognize this document?
Yeah, it appears to be the police report or a police report from Columbia County Sheriff's Office. It appears to be regarding the escape.
Okay, and Judge, if you could, I don't mean to stop you, but if you could go back to that first page, I'm just going to ask Mr. Soneberg if there's an occurrence date listed on this report once we get back up there. Okay. We might have to go a little higher. I'm not sure. Maybe not. Well, yeah. Is there a occurrence date listed on this report?
It occurred from and occurred to.
Okay. And what's the occurred from?
April 16th, 2020.
And is that the same occurred to date, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Judge, if you could scroll down to page 266 for me, please.
All right, we're on page 266 of response exhibit 12. Go ahead.
And if you could just, Judge, please just scroll down ever so slightly. This is where we're at. I just want to make sure that I have everything I need. Okay, yeah, that's right. There's perfect. Mr. Soneberg, you see there's in all capital letters, the words internal investigation. Do you see that?
Yes.
And then there's what appears to be 3 paragraphs after that, correct?
Correct.
Could you read Could you, I'm sorry, I'm cutting out here. I apologize. Could you read those 3 paragraphs for me, please?
Do you want me to read them out loud or?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Okay. I was advised by multiple CCI staff administration that there had been an ongoing internal investigation that had just begun involving civilian kitchen employee Holly Zimdahl, as information had been received that Holly Zimdahl was having a sexual relationship with inmates inside of the facility, to include sexual activity occurring in the kitchen area cooler. I was also advised that information had been obtained that Holly Zimdahl was possibly bringing controlled substances and possibly a cell phone into the institution, which were then passed to inmates in the kitchen. One of the inmates implicated in this was inmate JN, as being the recipient of the controlled substance and then delivering them on his unit. Inmate unknown was also implicated as having involvement in this investigation and possibly being the inmate Holly Zimdahl was having a sexual relationship with. I was advised that this information had just recently come to light and the investigation had just recently begun.
Okay. And did you ask Ms. Novak about this section of the police report? Do you recall doing that?
I recall talking about the actions that took place prior to the escape, but I don't remember like pointing at this report or anything. No.
Okay. Judge, in same Exhibit 12, if I could have you go to page 157 for me, please.
All right, we're on response exhibit 12, page 157. Go ahead.
Mr. Soneberg, I think we already discussed this, but just for the record, could you, well, let me ask you, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And what do you recognize it to be?
This is the interview with subject interview with Sue Novak on 5/28, which I was primary for.
Okay, and Judge, if I could have you go down to page 168 of this document, please. I'm going to be looking at question and answer 77.
All right, we're on page 168 of response exhibit 12, question 77.
Mr. Soneberg, if you could just read that to yourself and let me know when you're done.